Hello, everyone, and welcome to a very special episode of Bowie and Luna Learn English. I'm Diana, and for those of you who don't know me, I'm the owner of these two adorable cats.
Hi, everyone. I'm Bowie.
And I'm Luna. We're so excited that Diana is here with us today.
Thank you, Bowie and Luna. I'm very excited to be here, too. Today, we're doing something a little different. I'll be leading this episode because we're talking about a topic that I know very well, English at work.
Diana goes to work every day, so she knows all about this.
Yes, and we stay home and nap.
That's right. While you two are napping on the couch, I'm at the office using English all day long. And that's what we're going to talk about today. The English vocabulary and phrases you need in a professional work environment.
This is going to be so useful for our listeners.
Especially if they want to work in an English-speaking country or in an international company.
Exactly. Before we start, please remember to subscribe to Bowie and Luna Learn English, give us a thumbs up, and share this episode with anyone who's learning English for their career.
Your support helps us make more videos.
Okay, Diana, we're ready to learn. Take it away.
Thank you. All right, everyone, let's dive into English at work. So let's start from the very beginning. When you get a job, the first thing you do is go through the hiring process. The hiring process is all the steps from applying for a job to actually starting work. First, you see a job posting or job advertisement. This is an announcement that a company is looking for someone to fill a position. A position is another word for a job or role in a company. When you find a position you like, you submit an application. To submit means to send or hand in. Your application usually includes your resume or CV. That's a document that lists your education, work experience, and skills. You might also need to write a cover letter. A cover letter is a one-page letter where you explain why you're interested in the job and why you're a good fit for the position.
Diana, what's the difference between a resume and a CV?
Great question, Luna. In the United States, a resume is typically shorter, 1 or 2 pages. A CV, which stands for curriculum vitae, is longer and more detailed. It's more common in academic or research positions. In many other English-speaking countries, people use CV for what Americans call a resume, but don't worry too much about the terminology. Most people will understand what you mean.
That's helpful to know.
After you submit your application, if the company is interested, they'll contact you for an interview. An interview is a formal meeting where the employer asks you questions to see if you're right for the job. The person who interviews you is called the interviewer. You are the interviewee or candidate. A candidate is someone who's being considered for a position. Common interview questions include, tell me about yourself. Why do you want to work here? What are your strengths and weaknesses? And where do you see yourself in 5 years? After the interview, you wait to hear back. If they like you, they'll make you a job offer. That means they officially offer you the position. Then you can accept the offer or decline it if you decide it's not right for you. Once you accept the job offer, you have your first day of work. This is often called onboarding or orientation. Onboarding is the process of introducing a new employee to the company. On your first day, you'll probably meet your supervisor or manager. Your supervisor is the person you report to, the person who oversees your work and tells you what to do. You might also meet your colleagues or coworkers. These are the people you work with. A colleague is more formal, coworker is more casual. They mean the same thing. The company will probably give you a tour of the office. They'll show you where everything is: the break room, the restrooms, the conference rooms, your workstation or desk.
What's a break room, Diana?
A break room is a space where employees can relax, eat lunch, have coffee, or just take a break from work. It usually has a refrigerator, microwave, coffee maker, and tables and chairs.
That sounds nice.
It is. Taking breaks is important at work. In fact, in many jobs, you get a lunch break, usually 30 minutes to an hour, and sometimes shorter breaks during the day, like a 15-minute coffee break. Your company will also explain their work hours. Are you working full-time or part-time? Full-time usually means about 40 hours per week, often from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. That's why people say 9 to 5 job. Part-time means fewer hours, maybe 20 or 30 hours a week. Some companies offer flexible hours, which means you can choose when to start and finish, as long as you work the required number of hours. And nowadays, many companies offer remote work or work from home options, especially after the pandemic. Now let's talk about the language you'll use every day at work. When you arrive at the office in the morning, you greet your colleagues. You might say good morning, or just hi, how are you? Common responses are good, thanks, how about you? Or great, thanks, how was your evening? This is called small talk, light, casual conversation about everyday topics like the weather, weekend plans, or sports. Small talk is very important in English-speaking workplaces. It helps build relationships with your colleagues. Throughout the day, you'll have tasks and responsibilities. A task is a piece of work you need to complete. Your responsibilities are the duties that are part of your job. Your manager might say, "Can you handle this task?" Or, "This is your responsibility." To handle something means to take care of it or deal with it.
Diana, what if you don't understand what your manager wants you to do?
Excellent question, Luna. It's always okay to ask for clarification. You can say, "Could you clarify that, please?" Or, "I'm not quite sure what you mean. Could you explain?" Or, "Just to make sure I understand, you want me to..." It's much better to ask questions than to do something wrong because you didn't understand. Let's talk about meetings. Meetings are a big part of work life. A meeting is when colleagues get together to discuss something, make decisions, or share information. There are different types of meetings. A team meeting includes everyone on your team. A one-on-one meeting is just you and your manager. A client meeting is with people from outside your company who you do business with. Before the meeting, someone usually sends out an agenda. An agenda is a list of topics that will be discussed. It helps everyone prepare and keeps the meeting organized. The meeting usually has a chairperson or facilitator, the person who leads the meeting and keeps everyone on track. During the meeting, someone takes notes or minutes. Minutes are the official record of what was discussed and what decisions were made.
What kind of things do people say in meetings?
Good question. Here are some common meeting phrases. To start, "Let's get started," or "Shall we begin?" To introduce a topic, first on the agenda is, or "Let's move on to the next item." To give your opinion, "In my opinion," or "From my perspective," or "I think that." To agree, "I agree with that," or "That's a good point," or "Exactly." To disagree politely, "I see what you mean, but," or "That's one way to look at it, however," or "I have a slightly different view." To interrupt politely, "Sorry to interrupt, but," or "Can I jump in here?" or "If I could add something." To ask for clarification, "Could you elaborate on that?" Or "What exactly do you mean by..." To suggest something, "What if we," or "How about we," or "I'd like to propose." To end the meeting, "Let's wrap up," or to summarize, or "Let's schedule a follow-up meeting."
Those are really useful phrases.
They are. Using these phrases makes you sound professional and confident. And remember, in meetings, it's important to be respectful, listen to others, and contribute your ideas. Now let's talk about communication at work. You'll communicate in many ways: in person, by phone, by email, and through instant messaging. Email is a huge part of work communication. Let me teach you how to write a professional email in English. First, the subject line. This is the brief description of what your email is about. Make it clear and specific. For example, question about project deadline. Now, let's talk about communication at work. You'll communicate in many ways: in person, by phone, by email, and through instant messaging. Email is a huge part of work communication. Let me teach you how to write a professional email in English. First, the subject line. This is the brief description of what your email is about. Make it clear and specific. For example, question about project deadline or meeting request for next week. Then you have the greeting or salutation. Common professional greetings are, Dear Mr. Smith, or Dear Ms. Johnson, very formal. Hello, John, or Hi, Sarah, less formal but still professional. Or Good morning, team, for group emails. After the greeting, you state your purpose. Get to the point quickly. For example, I'm writing to follow up on, I wanted to inform you that. I'm reaching out regarding. Then you provide the details or information. Keep it clear and concise. Use short paragraphs. If you need the person to do something, make a clear request. For example, could you please send me? Would you be able to? Please let me know if. End with a closing. Thank you for your help. Or, I look forward to hearing from you. Or, please let me know if you have any questions. Then, sign off. Best regards. Or, best, professional and friendly. Sincerely, more formal. Thanks, casual but still professional. Then, your name.
That's a lot to remember.
It is, but once you write a few emails, it becomes natural. The key is to be clear, polite, and professional. One more thing about emails. Always proofread before you send. Check for spelling and grammar mistakes. A professional email should be error-free. Now let's talk about some common work situations and the vocabulary you need. If you need to take time off work, you request time off or ask for leave. You might say to your manager, I'd like to request vacation days for next week, or I need to take a sick day tomorrow. There are different types of leave: vacation days or annual leave, days off for rest, sick leave when you're ill, personal days for personal matters, maternity leave or paternity leave for new parents. If you're going to be late, you should let your manager know as soon as possible. You might call or send a message saying, I'm running late due to traffic. I'll be there by 9:30. If you can't come to work because you're sick, you call in sick. You might say, I'm not feeling well today. I need to take a sick day. Or, I have a doctor's appointment this afternoon. Can I leave early?
What if you need help with something at work?
Great question. Don't be afraid to ask for help. You can say, could you help me with this? Or, I'm having trouble with, could you show me? Or, do you have a moment to answer a question? Or, would you mind explaining how to? And if someone asks you for help, you can respond, sure, I'd be happy to help. Or, of course, what do you need? Or, let me show you. Being helpful and collaborative is very important in the workplace. Now let's talk about workplace performance. Your performance is how well you do your job. Your manager will probably give you feedback. Feedback is information about your performance, what you're doing well, and what you could improve. Positive feedback sounds like, you did a great job on that presentation, or your work quality is excellent, or you've really improved in this area. Constructive feedback is when your manager points out areas for improvement. I think you could work on your time management, or let's discuss ways to improve your communication skills. Many companies have performance reviews or evaluations. This is a formal meeting, usually once or twice a year, where your manager reviews your work and discusses your goals. During a performance review, you might talk about your achievements or accomplishments, things you did well, your challenges or areas for improvement, your professional development, how you can grow in your career, and your goals for the next period.
That sounds a little scary.
It can feel that way, but performance reviews are actually good opportunities. They help you understand how you're doing, what you can improve, and where your career can go. They're also a time to discuss a raise, an increase in your salary, or a promotion, moving up to a higher position. Let's talk about some other important workplace terms. A deadline is the time by which you must complete something. Your manager might say, "The deadline for this project is Friday," or "Can you meet the deadline?" Meeting a deadline means completing your work on time. A project is a planned piece of work with a specific goal. You might work on several projects at once. The phrase "to work on a project" means you're doing tasks related to that project. A presentation is when you speak to a group and show information, usually with slides. You might need to give a presentation or present your ideas to your team or clients. Teamwork is working together with others to achieve a goal. In many jobs, teamwork is essential. A conference call or video call is a meeting where people join by phone or video, especially if they're in different locations. With remote work becoming more common, you'll probably use platforms like Zoom, Microsoft Teams, or Google Meet.
What about those business words we hear all the time, like deadline and priorities?
Yes. Let me explain some common business jargon, specialized language used in business. Your priorities are the most important tasks. Your manager might say, "What are your priorities this week?" Or, "This is a high priority." To prioritize means to decide what's most important and do that first. To delegate means to give tasks to other people. A manager might delegate tasks to their team. To multitask means to do several things at the same time. A workload is the amount of work you have to do. You might say, "My workload is heavy this week," or "I need help managing my workload." Efficiency is doing work quickly and well without wasting time. An efficient worker gets a lot done. Productivity is how much work you complete. High productivity means you're getting a lot done. To brainstorm means to think of ideas together as a group. Let's brainstorm ideas for this campaign. To collaborate means to work together. Let's collaborate on this project. A stakeholder is anyone who has an interest in a project or decision. Your manager, your client, other departments.
Wow, that's a lot of vocabulary.
It is, but you don't need to learn it all at once. You'll pick it up naturally as you work in an English-speaking environment. Now, let me share some phrases you'll hear and use all the time at work. Touch base. This means to make contact or check in with someone. Let's touch base next week about this. Loop in. To include someone in communication. Can you loop Sarah in on this email? Circle back. To return to a topic later. Let's circle back to this after lunch. Follow up. To check on something or contact someone again. I'll follow up with the client tomorrow. Keep me posted. Keep me informed. Tell me about updates. Keep me posted on how the project is going. On the same page. Everyone understands and agrees. Let's make sure we're all on the same page. Drop the ball. To make a mistake or fail to do something. I'm sorry, I dropped the ball on that. Think outside the box. To think creatively in a new way. We need to think outside the box for this problem. Get the ball rolling. To start something. Let's get the ball rolling on this project. Put it on the back burner. To postpone something, make it less of a priority. We'll put that idea on the back burner for now.
Those are interesting expressions.
They are. English has lots of idioms like these. They might sound strange at first, but they're very common in business English. Now, let me share some tips for succeeding in an English-speaking workplace. Tip 1. Be professional and polite. Always use please and thank you. Say, could you, instead of do this. Being polite makes a huge difference. Tip 2. Ask questions when you don't understand. It's much better to ask than to make a mistake. People respect someone who asks good questions. Tip 3. Take notes. When your manager gives you instructions or during meetings, write things down. It shows you're paying attention and it helps you remember. Tip 4. Be punctual. Arrive on time for work and meetings. Being late is seen as disrespectful in many English-speaking cultures. Tip 5. Be proactive. Don't wait for your manager to ask about your progress. Update them regularly. If you have a problem, tell them early. Tip 6. Be a team player. Offer to help colleagues, share credit for successes, and be positive and supportive. Tip 7. Keep learning. Ask for feedback, take training courses, read industry news. Show that you want to grow professionally. Tip 8. Understand workplace culture. Every country and company has its own culture. Pay attention to how people dress, how formal or informal communication is, and what's considered appropriate.
Those are great tips, Diana.
Very helpful.
Let me do a quick role play to show you how some of these phrases work in real situations. Luna and Bowie, want to help me?
Yes.
What do we do?
Let's pretend we're in a team meeting at work. I'll be the manager, Luna, you're a team member, and Bowie, you're another team member. Ready?
Ready.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining the meeting. Let's get started. First on the agenda is the upcoming project deadline. Luna, can you give us a status update on your part?
Sure. I've completed the research phase and I'm now working on the analysis. I should be finished by Wednesday.
Great. And Bowie, how about you? Where are you with your tasks?
I'm making good progress. I've completed about 70% of my tasks. However, I'm having a small issue with the data formatting. Could someone help me with that?
Of course. Luna, you have experience with data formatting, right? Could you touch base with Bowie after this meeting and help him out?
Absolutely. I'd be happy to help. Bowie, let's meet at 2 p.m. to go over it.
Perfect. Thank you, Luna.
Excellent teamwork. Now, I want to brainstorm ideas for our client presentation next week. Any thoughts?
What if we include some visual examples? Clients usually respond well to visuals.
That's a great idea. Bowie, what do you think?
I agree. And we could also add a Q&A section at the end for questions.
Perfect. Let's do both. I'll send out a follow-up email with our action items. Before we wrap up, does anyone have any questions or concerns?
No questions from me.
I'm good.
Great. Thanks, everyone, for your time and hard work. Keep me posted on your progress, and let's circle back on Friday to review everything before the client meeting.
Sounds
good.
See how that worked? We used lots of workplace phrases naturally in conversation.
That was really helpful to hear it in context. Now I understand how to use those phrases.
Context is so important. That's why practicing conversations is the best way to learn. Before we finish, let me give you a quick vocabulary review of the most important work terms. Hiring process, job posting, position, application, resume or CV, cover letter, interview, candidate, job offer. Workplace basics, supervisor or manager, colleague or coworker, break room, work hours, full-time, part-time, remote work, daily work, task, responsibility, deadline, project, workload, priority, meetings, agenda, facilitator, minutes, brainstorm, communication, email, subject line, greeting, closing, feedback, performance review, time off, vacation days, sick leave, personal days, common phrases, touch base, loop in, circle back, follow up, keep me posted, on the same page.
That's such a comprehensive list. Our listeners have learned so much today.
I hope so. Working in English can feel challenging at first, but with practice and the right vocabulary, you'll feel more confident every day. Remember, everyone makes mistakes, even native English speakers. Don't be afraid to speak up, ask questions, and learn from experience. Your English will improve with time. Well, that's all we have time for today. Thank you so much for joining us for this special episode.
Thank you for teaching us, Diana. This was so interesting.
Yes, we learned so much, even though we're cats and don't have jobs.
You have a very important job, being adorable and making people happy.
We're good at that job.
the best.
Before we go, please remember to subscribe to Bowie and Luna Learn English channel.
Yes, and share this episode with anyone who's learning English for work.
And we have a question for you. Leave a comment below and tell us, what's your job? Or what job do you want to have in the future?
We'd love to hear about your careers and your experiences using English at work.
Thank you so much for listening.
Until next time, keep practicing and keep learning.
Good luck with your English journey, everyone. You've got this.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.